Hello, this is going to be a short review of my new desktop that I ordered from Build Redux. I already did the unboxing and first impressions, but I've used this PC for about 2 days now, and I'm pretty sure I have everything that I should expect from a PC, like when it comes to build quality, um, the just the software components that they use, the hardware components, well, not software, but the hardware that they used for their build quality. The cable management was very good. Everything was zip tied. Um, it was all managed really well. Plus the SATA power cables that connect to the power supply, they were put in a way to where you can actually still plug in um, an extra drive or two. That way you didn't have to like unclip the zip ties, which is really nice. Um, the case that they use is by Cooler Master. It's a custom version of the Cooler Master case, but it's basically the same thing. It has a huge amount of airflow. So far, I have not ran into an overheating issue at all. Um, Also, to take in mind, my PC that I ordered has a water cooling AI has an AIO, which is an all-in-one water cooler. It's also by Cooler Master. Um, it's the Master Liquid ML 240, I think, which just means it has two 120 millimeter fans. I think. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's what it means. Also, the motherboard that they used for my system was an MSI X570A Pro, which was very, very good for um, overclocking. I didn't really do a high overclock considering that the precision boost does a really good job of doing it anyways. So I just left on precision boost overclocking. That way it just overclocks it for me, but it's doing really well. There's nothing I can really, there's not a whole lot of things I can complain about. The only thing that I can complain about is the fact that when I got this PC, the memory was not running at its rated speed. It was running at 2666 megahertz. I had to go into the BIOS and change it to 3200. The only reason why I think that's not a good thing for them to ship me a PC like that is because most of the people that are probably coming into PC gaming, ooh, most of the people that are coming into PC gaming, they're not going to know how to check for like whether or not their memory is running at the correct speed or if something's not running right. The only reason why I even noticed was when I went to games, I started noticing a little bit of popping. That's not normal for the type of system I have, so I was like, something's not right. So I checked everything. My memory wasn't running at its rated speed. As soon as I put it back to 3200 like it's supposed to be, my CPU had no issues loading in assets for video games. I mean, also the the BIOS for the motherboard was out of date. I don't think that was their problem because, or their fault, because when they put this PC together, it was like a month and a half before they even gave it to me. And the reason for that is because they were backed up with orders because of the CPU shortages, GPU shortages, COVID, and weather related stuff. Nothing, none of it was their fault. I wish that they included like something to help people um, update their BIOS because I can see if someone was to order a computer from them that didn't know anything about how you're supposed to update BIOSes on motherboards, they would be like, how do I update it? There's a special USB on motherboards that you plug a USB drive into. That way you can flash the new BIOS version to the motherboard. And it's only one. Yeah, it's only one. I haven't seen a motherboard with two BIOS USB ports. And they look like normal USB ports, but you'll see a logo of like BIOS or flash on it. That's like the only thing I can complain about. Nothing else I can really complain about. Actually, no, there is another thing to complain about. The fact that I've been trying so hard. This AIO, see that, the circle right here? That's the AI cooling block that's on my CPU. I have been trying so hard to figure out how to install software from Cooler Master, from MSI. I've been trying to find software somewhere to where I can control that. And there's a controller that's on the other side of the computer that should allow me to control it, but I can't figure it out. And honestly, I feel like that's like a big issue. If I can't figure it out and I have to unplug stuff, I don't want to do it. And I feel like if someone was to like buy this PC, they wouldn't want to either, because they wouldn't know what they're doing. All I have to do is just unplug it, install the software, plug it back in. But I don't want to unplug and plug it back in just in case it messes something up. Like it messes up the what do you call it? Just in case it messes with the motherboard. I don't want to risk it because I already spent so much on this PC. I feel like that's just kind of a rough edge for people to deal with. Nothing else really to gripe about it. It does include a wireless card. That way people who don't have Ethernet, they can just use wireless if they can't run a cord to their modem or something. Like they're in a completely different room or something from their modem. A big gripe I have with them is whenever you email their support, they don't give you an accurate time frame for when you can expect your PC. Ever since I ordered my PC, they told me it's going to take 15 to 20 days. After the first 15 to 20 days, I asked them, hey, any updates on my PC? They told me over and over, check in next week, check in next week, check in next week. Or I remember it was January 28th. They told me by March 8th, my PC's going to ship out. It didn't. That's fine though, because it wasn't their fault, because there was a winter storm that messed up their shipping dates. My PC ended up shipping out around the 18th to 20th. It was the 18th that it shipped out. And it got here in 2 days because I paid for FedEx 2-day shipping. A lot of people complain about FedEx, but I didn't have an issue. They delivered it right to my house. Yeah, there's no issues with this PC. It's working completely normal, everything. It was just the RAM. The RAM is the only big issue that I feel like could have been avoided. I have no idea why the RAM wasn't running at the appropriate clock speed. But yeah, that concludes my little short review on the Build Redux PC. I definitely recommend anybody who's wanting to get a custom pre-built to get it from them, because the prices are really good, especially in today's economy in the US. I'm not sure about other countries, but if you live in the US, this is the way to go, because if you go with iBuyPower, CyberPower, especially if you go for like, what was that one gaming company? Uh, I forget, but this is like one of the cheapest pre-builds that you can get, considering the components in it. Like the memory that they use, it's not slow. It's pretty good memory. The SSD that they use is good. Everything's good. And it came with an 80 plus gold power supply. Like they're not skipping out on anything. Um, yep, that concludes my review. Definitely get it. Bye.